All right. So, understanding you came up from an AME background, AME Church. Your wife is a fourth generation African Methodist Episcopal. Her parents were in AME Church as well. You settled in Chapel Oaks. You saw
No, not Chapel Oaks. I live in the wonderful world of Chevrolet.
Chevrolet.
All right, yeah,
right outside of Chapel. Thank you for correcting.
Right.
So you settled in Chevrolet, right outside a community called Chapel Oaks, and there was a church on a hill called Hemingway. What drew you to that church? What was the connection there?
My wife first joined. It was the young adults of Hemingway. She was in the choir.
Okay.
And most of the folk in the choir will tell you this: if the young adults or what became the voices of Hemingway sang, and you wanted to eat dinner that day, you better go to that program to hear him singing that. In addition to that, I had met Sylvester Vaughn in Palmer Park. He lived in Palmer Park, and he had encouraged me to join. One day, something happened to me. I don't know why, but I ended up walking down Marblewood up, Sheriff Road to the city. The church would sit on the hill with all the lights, and I joined. Eva Redmond's daughter, what's her name? I can't think of her name. Her youngest daughter. Anyway, Eva Redmond's daughter. Eva Redmond was the head of the singers in that. And the day I joined, a child led me. Eva Redmond's daughter also joined that day in that. Joy, is it Joy? Is that her name?
Yes.
Joy in that. Between Sylvester and Leela, I joined, and I was in love with Reverend Porter and Mrs. Porter. All right. All right. She dances with old people too. They were real people in that. Reverend Porter had an alumni meeting with Armstrong in D.C., and they would meet and they would work with the community in that. I remember when Grainger Browning came to Hemingway.
Tell me about that.
Well, Grainger came down and joined Hemingway whilst they were going to Divinity School in Maryland.
And this was Grainger and Joanne Brown.
And they singing back too, all of them.
Okay. All right. Tell me about it.
And Hemingway supported them the whole time. So they left. Grainger's daddy, I think, was a bishop had been a bishop up in the Boston area. So they had graduated and went back to Boston. And Bishop Adams came in. Bishop Adams came in. Bishop Adams said, well, we're moving. You know how bishops and pastors talk. Yeah. We're moving. Ebenezer from D.C. And we need bringing to Prince George's County. And we need a dynamic young minister to take over. The church erupted.
Wow.
Grainger.
Wow.
All right. And Grainger came back, half of Hemingway, and we encouraged them. We had good stock then. We encouraged them. Y'all that live in the southern part of the county, go down there and help Grainger and them doing that. And the rest of it is history in that.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you have a church, a Mecca, essentially, that produced dynamic pastor Grainger Joanne Brown that
we got a whole slew of them.
Yep.
You look at Hemingway. I think of Etoria Goggins. I still remember her first sermon, shifting. All right, and it's so true because as you go through life, you're steadily shifting. When you get to some hills, you want to throw it in that gear to get up, and then sometimes you just want to cruise in that. Wow. And I still remember her sermon about shifting in that. But I hope she don't bite the nails still in that.
Okay. Well, I hope not. Even if she's watching it, I'm sure she'd laugh at that moment too. But you have a church that's responsible for so much black excellence, black Christian theology, black movement and social reform. You too had an early exposure to social reform. You too were very active in politics. You worked for Tommy Broadwater. You worked for Albert Wynn. You were engaged. You were a police officer in Glen Arden. You had a background in public safety and public reform. What drew you to that social justice movement, as we call it now, you probably referred to as civil rights at that time. What drew you to that?
Really, really, I think the major involvement was through Hemingway in the church. We were always active. Lay organization was active. They were active in my campaign and other campaigns. But I guess the one that really sticks out is the Terrence Johnson incident. Now,
Wow.
y'all have to look back in that. Baltimore calls it their Freddie Gray moment. Well, we had our Terrence Johnson moment. What happened was him and his brother broke into a laundromat and broke into the coin machines and the washing machines and that. And they were picked up and taken up here in Sea Pleasant, where you the chief now, ain't you? You the chief. Okay. Yeah. Hank Arrington, when he became mayor, he had to carry a gun because they were so crazy around there.
Yeah.
But anyway, they took him into the precinct. As a black officer, they had what you had to do was a lockbox. When you put a prisoner in, you take off all your stuff and lock it up. Then you could go in and process your prisoner. But white officers didn't have to do that.
Wow.
So they put this boy, I don't think he's no more 15, 17, something like that. They put him in the cell, and then they went in with their weapons on, 2 of them, and started beating him.
Wow.
He grabbed the gun and killed him. And he killed a Claggett. Now
that Claggett, that's a Sea Pleasant officer.
He killed a Claggett.
Yeah,
the
that's
Claggett family name came over on the boat that founded Maryland. The Claggetts are on the charter or whatever they gave Maryland to be a state. White folks was incensed. We're going to kill this. Well, you know what we was called in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Black
folks, we're going to burn this mother down. Oh, colored folks say, oh, no, you ain't. We've been through that. We just came out of D.C. They called a meeting. Reverend Porter, Reverend Perry Smith, Sylvester Vaughns, the leaders in the community called right at Hemingway. Now, they wouldn't let me sit down, go downstairs, down in the Gladys Taylor Hall to be in the meeting, because at that time, I was working for Bud Marshall, the state's attorney, the law.
Yeah.
Okay? So they said, Price, we don't want you down here so you don't have no conflict of interest, but you guard the door. So I sat there as the spook who sat beside the door. There's a book on that you need to read. You learn a lot from that. Okay?
Yes, sir.
They gathered, and all the colored leaders in Prince George's County came in, and they hired Ken Mundy to represent Terrence Johnson. All right. Then they decided that instead of breaking the law, we need to change the law or become the law. So then they went out and solicited Alexander Williams to run for state's attorney.
Wow.
All right, because that's the law, and then the state's attorney in Prince George is the law, decides it. We won. And after we got done celebrating, we said, well, if we can run somebody at large and win, we can change the face of Prince George's County. Bill Gullett helped us. He was a Republican. Y'all don't like Republicans. Larry Hogan Sr. helped us.
Yeah.
All right.
Now it's the governor's father.
Governor's father, and the governor is just like his daddy, because if you look in your history, when Nixon did Watergate, all the Republicans except for one stood up for Nixon. Guess who that one was? Hogan Sr. He spoke out, and they tried to kill him like they're trying to do now and that, but he spoke out, just like his daddy speaks out now against Trump, okay? Yeah. All right. But anyway, then we got together, we found a Democrat that we could support, and that was, can't think of his name now. I got it on the tip of my tongue, but.
Was it Wayne Carey?
No.
Okay.
Wayne went to work for this county exec, Wayne went to work in the county exec's office.
Paris Glendinning.
No, Paris came in. Paris,
afterwards? Okay.
yeah, this was Winnie Kelly.
Okay.
Matter of fact, right around the corner, at the top of the hill, Winnie Kelly had the roach coach.
Okay.
You know the roach coaches.
I don't know
They
about
call
that.
them. They call them food trucks now.
Okay.
All right. But roach coaches, he had the thing there. Anyway, we elected Winnie from around the corner on Marble Wood, right around the corner here. He became county exec, and Winnie Kelly put Wayne Curry in as his administrative assistant or whatever the title he had to coordinate the community in that. And the rest of it is history. We elected my neighbor in the wonderful world of Chevrolet, right there on State Street, Wayne Curry, as the first black
Wow.
county exec in Prince George's County. The rest of that is history. From that, we have had just about everyone that I know been here at Hemingway and has been supportive of Hemingway's program in that.
Wow.
All right.